Hi. Thought I'd let you into a little whole lot of stuff that I've been collecting lately. It's been sitting around for about a year now. 12.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. It is electric start. The motor runs all right and it starts all right. It just burns a fair bit of oil, so a little bit of smoke coming out of this machine will be all right. I've got a centrifugal clutch on the bottom, and I have a gearbox for it. I suppose I better explain what I'm doing. It's sort of like it's a remote control like tank, but instead of being a tank, it'll be on a platform, you know, similar to the digger. I'll use a platform, and then on the top, I'll put a sci-fi like robot structure on the top, and the robot will be hanging onto the cameras, spotlights. Also, it'll be hanging on to a what you got, an air cannon. So I'll fill that up to bang the air cannon, and the air cannon will be an automatic one. So bang, 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 bang as soon as you push the button. That's going to be absolutely deafening. It's going to be loud. So anyway, I've got this motor mower gearbox. This gearbox actually has a brake, and I don't think I'll use the brake, but it has a reverse here, so it'll be a skid steer. And I've got these discs and calipers, and I chose this because in there then I can mount these wherever I like, and the master cylinder will be operated by this actuator, which has got a 25mm throw. So we can fine tune this thing here to have it coming on where it needs to, just by tuning up the amount of throw we put onto that piece of thread there. So I've got two of those. These actually Chinesium, and the discs and the brakes and everything and the actuators were very, very cheap. They didn't cost me much at all. I think this bloody centrifugal clutch was actually a hell of a lot dearer than most of the other stuff. Now these will be driving some tracks. I got bring this over. I had a play with this just the other day, doing a bit of welding on it. That's what is it? 2-inch, I think. 2-inch track, and so it'll have a bit wider than that, and 75mm wide. 75mm, that's what, 3 inches. So it'll be a little bit wider track, and the gauge will be slightly wider there, because you've got to join the track there, so it'll have to be about that wide. I may have to cut all those down and then just take a piece off the edge of it in the mill just to get the right distance, and then I'll also weld a piece of square steel, probably 10 by 10 square, onto the back of each one, make the tracks look authentic, like bulldozer grouses. The cogs for this stuff here were too dear, so I'm going to make the cogs, and the drive cogs will probably be made out of stock of nylon, or it could be made out of the stuff here. I've got a big slab of plastic down through there, and I think that that plastic will be strong enough to make cogs out of, because I don't think it'll wear. This stuff here, this chain, is second-hand chain, and I can get in feet, 20 feet for $40. So 20 feet will make 2 remote control vehicles, so I might order, say, 30 feet, $120. But that there will be, it's basically made for you. It's just too easy. I can't think of anything better to make tracks out of than this stuff. And the other thing is, because I'm driving it at 12.5 horsepower, I can put some tension on these things, have decent big bloody guide sprockets for it. It's never going to jump off. It's going to rip the missus's lawn to pieces, so I might have to use it out on the farm a little bit. This thing here, you can see it's covered in, I think it fell over and lost all its oil, but if we fill this thing up, when you're mowing the lawns, it actually smokes like hell. It runs, it's got good horsepower, it starts really easy, but because it smokes, I put a new motor in the lawnmower. Repowered it, of course, went up a few horsepower. But this thing, if it smokes, will be quite good, because I'll have a couple of big stacks coming out the back, and we can make this thing smoke. If it smokes, it'll make it look good anyway, cruising around. The whole idea was get away from this mamby-pamby bloody electric stuff, get back into the real stuff. I mean, if I've got some good electrics, this thing, I can track it away from me by hundreds of meters, and with a FPV camera on it. I don't think that'll probably be the length of the wheel track, so I don't think you'll get it stuck easy. It'll walk over everything and make it like proper bulldozer grousers with that cleat on the back of it. You'll climb, go through swamps, you name it. But I don't think it'll be right. And should be able to scare the shit out of people with a bloody air cannon. The neighbour's got a whole lot of horses over there, so I'll just have to be careful where I let them off to get the horses used to it. The horses, once they hear it going off and get used to it, they'll be good as gold. It won't worry them. But we're in lockdown at the moment, so to save me going spare, I was going to build this, but the only trouble is I can't get out to get parts anymore. I can't go down and get steel. I can't go down and get none of the hardware shops. Nothing's open. I think that our mail is even limited. I'm not sure how many times a week they're going to deliver it, but if I order something through Amazon, is it going to come into the country? You know, it might take another month and a half to get here anyway. So yeah, this is something for the future. Might be interesting to see how it turns out. I actually have another little toy here I was working to. I had this motor in the shed, and I decided to just cut it all down and make it into a plane. I started up and I was holding onto the timber, and this motor with the timber and everything can hover itself, just sit there hovering if you're just holding onto the edge of the timber. So it's got a ton of grunt. I want to make it as an aluminium plane. I want all the structure and everything, the tail and everything held on by aluminium. Just do a complete aluminium body. The likes of this here behind the motor will be the fuel tank, and the wings can bolt on over top of this or onto it. I've still got this stuff here that I made the swimming pool out of, and I'm thinking this is high density foam, so I can cut the wings out of that. It's actually quite heavy, But I can cut the wings out of that, and then I'm going to fiberglass the wings, so it's going to be foam with fiberglass on top. I suppose we've got so much to do. Shitloads of time to do it in, but we can't go buy parts to do anything. So let's see what happens. We might get something started. We might not. It's no good going ahead if you don't get the right parts. So stay tuned, and we'll see what we can do about it. I can't promise anything while we're getting a shutdown, but see what happens. Stay safe, everyone.